My name is Jack Bitkowski. I am chairman of the Connecticut State Water Planning Council, and I'm also vice chairman of the Connecticut Public Utilities Regulatory Authority. And I'm here today to talk about the water plan, what's going on with the State Water Planning Council, how it came to fruition, and what its goals and objectives and missions are. The Planning Council itself was established almost 20 years ago, and it's made up of myself, I'm chairman, and then we have with us from the Department of Public Health, Lori Matthew, from the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, we have Graham Stevens, and from the Office of Policy Management, we have Acting Undersecretary Martin Heft. The whole idea behind the council was to ensure that we have a seamless communication between these four agencies to make sure that we have a potable water supply for the people of the state of Connecticut. One of the highlights of the Water Planning Council in 2014 was to develop a statewide water plan. We had gone through approximately a decade looking at water issues, but we didn't have the funding available to set up a statewide water plan, to really delve in to what we need to do to sustain a potable, safe water supply for the people of Connecticut. The legislature authorized $1 million to do this, and we got the ball rolling in 2014, 2015, to go around to the people of Connecticut to look and feel firsthand what we needed to get from them to develop a comprehensive plan. We held a series of meetings throughout the geographic areas of the state. We heard from people from businesses, mayors, first selectmen, recreational people, to look at environmental advocates, to look at what we needed to do to come up with a plan that was something that would be sustainable and workable for a long time to come. Basically, a roadmap for us to look at our water supply, to look at our basins, to look at how we can make sure that we have water available for our most vital resource, which is, of course, on a daily basis. We can't sustain life without water. So we use it. First thing we do in the morning is use water. Usually the last thing we do at night, water. We go to our businesses and use water. We go to recreation and use water. We need water to sustain life. We need agriculture, golf courses. We need water for everything. So we wanted to highlight the fact that we would have this plan put together. And we came up and with our various stakeholders and advocates from around the state of Connecticut to come up with a plan in terms of looking at the quantity and the quality of the water supply within the state of Connecticut. And we developed a 600-page plan that was actually approved by the General Assembly in 2019. So it was a process. It was a very cumbersome process, but it was a good process. It was a very inclusive process. We had many people weigh in on it, and it was very important that we get it right. And this is now, again, the roadmap for us moving forward. So what do we do with it now? Now that we have it documented and approved by the state legislature, we use this to look at things such as the drought. This year, once again, the last time we had a drought like this was in 2016, where our drought, particularly in southwest Connecticut and southeast Connecticut, we had to step forward with our interagency drought group, which we looked at the various precipitation levels around the state. And we have to really look at what we're doing to make sure that our reservoirs were not going to go dry. So we looked at voluntary conservation efforts, particularly in southwest Connecticut, working with the municipalities and the regulated water companies there to make sure that we had a plan into effect so we can conserve water. And one of the things we're going to do moving forward is to make sure that we have a plan so that if we have situations like this again, we will be able to implement perhaps mandatory drought assistance so that you're not going to have to be worried about how precarious our water supply might be. So the drought work group meets very much on a monthly basis. They'll be almost on a weekly basis when the drought is at its maximum. And they come up with ways to mitigate drought situations. And again, one of the things we might be looking at is that how in times of drought, we might have a situation where we would have to implement some type of mandatory conservation efforts. Everybody likes to wash their cars and take long showers and take care of the golf course and everything else, and have beautiful lawns. But when it comes to having enough water to sustain business and life, sometimes we may have to take some significant actions. The other thing, the way we have it set up with the state water plan, is we have a water plan and council advisory group, and this is made up of various stakeholders throughout the state. We have people from business and industry, we have people from recreation, we have people from agriculture, we have people from municipalities, economic development. They are just a statutory group that's set up and is there to advise the state water planning council to look at various issues that might become before us. For example, recently there was issue with work to put some type of solar panels on near water company property or near a water reservoir. So what type of laws, what types of regulations, what type of checks and balances we have to put into effect to make sure that it's not going to in any way harm the water supply? We might look at looking at the way you set up water rates, look at our conservation efforts that we have. We talked about droughts a couple minutes ago, but the fact of the matter is that we have many rates that are set up now to help mitigate drought through our conservation adjustment mechanism, where we have rates put on bills that will help replace our pipes in the state of Connecticut, to make sure that the pipes are not leaking, to make sure the pipes are really in good shape so that the water gets to people. And if there's any type of issues, that they would be replaced. We also have, in addition to the Water Planning Council Advisory Group, the Water Council itself, and we have a website, Water Planning Council website. But the Water Planning Council itself meets on the first Tuesday of the month at 1:30. The Water Planning Council Implementation Group, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, meets on the second Tuesday, and the Water Planning Council Advisory Group meets on the third Tuesday, all at 1:30. All of these meetings are open to the public, and we like to make sure that people can be a part of this process, and we like people to come and ask questions and weigh in on various issues that may be impacting them when it comes to water. And we're very excited about the fact that the plan has been implemented. People are very passionate about water, very passionate about protecting our water supply and being good stewards of water supply. Our water companies, particularly our larger water companies, for example, Aquarian and the Metropolitan District in Hartford, have a great deal of property near reservoirs that can be used for recreation and can be used for sometimes for economic development when it comes to sustaining the supply to get to various companies. And so it's just so important that we keep this water clean and affordable. And when you look at what's happened in the state in our water supply, I'm from the Norfolk Valley, and you look at Norfolk River, which runs down parallel to Route 8 between Winsted and Bridgeport. The Norfolk River in the 40s and 50s and 60s and into the 70s was one of the most polluted rivers in the world. And thanks to the creation of the Environmental Protection Agency in the early 70s, that river now, which I drive by every day, is now a clean river that people are fishing in and kayaking in. And when I was younger, we called it the Rainbow River because you never knew what color it was going to be because of all the chemicals that were put into that river. And unfortunately today, people, because of environmental protection, because of regulations, we have a very, very clean water supply. And we have to continue to maintain that. And that's why this Water Planning Council report that we have has just really, I think, been a tremendous support to our efforts to do so. And I'd like to thank all the advocates for their support, all the legislators for their support, and for all my colleagues in the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, Office of Policy Management, and Department of Public Health. Again, Lori Matthew, Martin Heft, and Graham Stevens for their support in the council, and all those that have served in the council in the past to really make this such a success. I'm as passionate about water as I was 20 plus years ago when I became a commissioner. When I was the president of the National Organization of the Regulatory Commissioners, my theme was the water energy nexus, how you need water to produce energy and energy to produce water. And that really highlights the fact that the two go hand in hand. With that, I urge people to attend our council meetings. I urge people to attend the Water Planning Council Advisory Group meeting and implementation work group. We're always looking for volunteers. You can come to those meetings and see the various subject areas that we're working on and see if you might be interested. Thank you.